In this first project, we're going to learn how to do rock, paper, scissors. Now we know how to play the game. How are we going to play it using Python? Well, this is what we're going to do in this video. We're going to ask for someone's choice, either R for rock, S for scissors, P for paper. We're going to get the person's choice. So if you're the player, which letter do you want? We're going to keep that, store that, whatever you answer. So we're going to use a variable. We're going to see who wins by using if statement. And to make it a game, you've got to play against someone. So we're going to put an extra bonus little bit of code so you can play against a computer. So that's what's going to be in this program, in this Python program, and in this video. Now you can see already some writing. At the beginning they have this hash symbol, which means they're comments and the computer will ignore them. So we're going to start our program. We want to write something. So to see something on the screen we use print with brackets. If we're just using text, not a number or anything, we use double or single quotes. So we're going to say enter rock, P or paper, or S for scissors. Let's put that back. Enter rock, paper, or scissors. Okay. The green triangle at the top is going to run it. You may be using something different, but if I run it, you can see enter rock, paper, and scissors. Now the user is going to enter something. So let's say we've got player 1, and we're going to say they're going to enter R. So we'll just start off very, very simple. We've got player 1 and player 2. Now player 2 is going to say, let's say scissors. So here we've got player 1 and player 2, and those are both variables, so they store something. If we want to see it, remember print brackets. Now here I'm going to put player 1 and player 2, and if I run it, you can see we've got enter rock, paper, or scissors, and we've got the R for player 1 and the S for player 2. During the game we want to know who's won. So here we can compare the two players, what their choice is. So we've got if player 1, and we want to see if they've got what they've got. So let's say, have they got an R for rock? So if player 1 has got a rock, then what's going to happen? Let's imagine we can say just print rock. Remember the double quotes. So if we were to run that, you can see it says rock. If we were to say if player 2 has R, if we run that, it doesn't say anything because player 2 has got S for scissors. Okay, so let's go back to player 1. We know that player 1 has got R for rock. Notice this gap. We'll have to learn how to use that with if statements. But the code underneath the if part will run if this bit is true. So if this is true, then do the code that has this gap. This is called an indentation, but it's basically a tab or 4 spaces. Now we want to check to see what player 2's got. So we've got player 2. Now imagine if they've got rock, then it's going to be a draw, isn't it? So let's say print and then draw. Okay. What we can do in coding is we can copy and paste. So we're going to copy this, paste it, and paste it again. Now, player 2 has R, it's going to be a draw. If they've got paper, then the winner is going to be player 2. So we can put our message, whatever message you like, to say player 2 is the winner. Finally, if player 2 has scissors, then player 1 is the winner. So you can choose what message you like. We don't really need to know that player 1 has got R because we've already seen this here. Okay. So now, if we run this code, we can see we've got first message, we've got R and S for player 1 and player 2, and we said player 1 was the winner because rock beat scissors. If we were to change them so player 1 has still got rock, but player 2 has got rock, it says it's a draw. And what happens if it's P? Then the winner is player 2. So that is correct if player 1 has got rock. Because this works, can you remember I said about copy and paste? So what we can do, copy. Make sure at the beginning because the spacing is really important. Okay, so we don't want to start somewhere in. We start right at the beginning. And again, I'm going to paste again. So player 1 has got R, player 1 has got P, player 1 has got S. So now we want to make sure that the messages are correct. So if it's P and P, that's going to be a draw. So we say draw. If it's paper versus rock, then player 1's going to be the winner. So let's write player 1 here. Player 1, winner. And if it's scissors, then player 2 is going to be the winner. Okay. Now with S, let's first of all put the draw in. Scissors against rock is going to be a loser, and paper is going to be player 1. So if player 1's got scissors, player 2's got paper, then player 1's going to be the winner, and the other one is going to be player 2. Okay, if you want to make sure all the messages are the same, it's up to you, we can change them. So copy and paste helps because it means that the code that's correct, you're using the same code. So you can test your code. Let's start with, let's say we've got player 1 has got scissors and player 2 has got paper. So we're going to be here. Okay, we run the program, scissors and paper, player 1's the winner. What happens if they are both rocks? Well, that's going to be the first one here. We can see, so you can test. We've got 9 possible options or results with player 1 and player 2. Now we said in our comments we need to input get your choice. Well, at the moment player 1 is just a letter here, but what we want is for the user to input something. So we can put a message, enter your choice, we can leave a space, okay, and then player 1's going to go there. At the moment they can put in anything, but let's keep it very, very simple. So let's run the program. enter your choice. Let's say we go for scissors. Oh, I lost. Okay, we'll try again. Let's try paper. Oh, I won. So that's how to input something from the user. We can normally make it a bit safer about making sure the user puts in the correct thing, but at the moment we were going to assume they put in R, P and S. So that was quite simple. There's something that's a bit more advanced, that's not something we're learning now, but we're just going to put it in to make the game better. You can see this bonus. We're going to get the computer to play. So we've asked for the choice. We've got the user's choice. We've used variables. We can see who wins. We just want to get the computer to play. Okay, we're going to use something called random. So the computer, we don't really know what the computer's going to choose. Okay, so we can import random. It says here about it's not used yet. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take out, let's put the code in here. I'm just going to paste it in. So we've got these choices R, P and S, and then player 2 is going to be a random choice. What this does is it randomly chooses R, P or S. Okay, so we can take this out. So now when we enter, we don't know what the computer's going to do. So let's play it, run it. Okay, what's our choice? Let's go R for rock. It was a draw. Run it again. Let's go R again. R and scissors, we won. So remember, we're player 1. So you can see what the choices were for us and the computer, and we won. Now, something that we will learn more in the future is repetition. Basically, we can loop this so we can play several games. Now, if we want to loop this, let's just have, for example, 3 games. Okay, I'm going to move everything over. I just pressed tab. I just moved everything over, and I'm just going to put in what's called a for loop. Again, we'll cover this in future lessons and videos. Now, this is going to repeat this code 3 times. Okay, so remember, I've got the for loop here that's going to repeat it 3 times, and it knows to repeat everything because I moved everything over 1 tab. Let's try to run this. Enter my choice. I'm going to go rock. Oh, player 2 winner. Rock again. It was a draw. Rock again. Player 1 winner. So you could add to this program. Perhaps you want to do a score and maybe 10 games example. So we could change. If we wanted 10 games, we would just put 10 here. And if we wanted a score, we could perhaps say score equals 0. And then if player wins, so where player wins, we could say score equals score plus 1. So every time player 1 wins, we can add to the score. So there's many different ways of writing your program, and there's many different ways of improving it. Okay, so once we finish, we don't want it inside the loop, so we're going right to the beginning of the line. Let's print score. Okay, I don't want 10 games. Let's play, should we just play 4? Let's play 5. Okay, let's run it. Choice, I'm going to go scissors. Oh, I won. Rock. Oh, I lost. Scissors. It's a draw. Rock. Draw. Do I win? It was draw. So I only won 1 game. So that wasn't very good. but also perhaps we would want to see the score of the computer as well. So actually the score was 1-1. So you can see how you can improve your game by using these simple things. We printed to the screen, we got the user's input, we use his variable for player 1 and player 2, and we used if statements to check to see who won. We also used some extra code to get the computer to play. And that's our game. Okay, so we're going to add, perhaps we're going to add the computer score. Let's put the computer score in as well to make that a little bit better. So we've got score +1, but let's have the computer as well. So that's going to be computer score. And then we can remember, copy and paste. We love copy and paste. And final one here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to print a dash and then print computer score. So let's play it again. No error message is good. Rock, or I lost. Paper, or I won. Scissors, it was a draw. Scissors, or I lost. Scissors, or I won. So the score was 2-2. Okay, that's where we're finished for now. We'll put this code on the website. So if you want to look at the code and you want to look at the syntax, you can. So as you see this code now, we will put it on the website. Remember, the website is alps.academy. So we'll look for, perhaps we'll call it something like Python project, rock, paper, scissors. Okay, we'll finish there. Okay, I hope you can join us for the next video. Goodbye for now.